Political science and its methods of study. Political science defined. Political science as a field of knowledge has been diversely defined. But since politics is a root word of political science, the definition of the latter centered on the former. Aristotle started the definition of political science when he identified it as the study of the polis, which according to him is the most sovereign and inclusive association. Many centuries later, a German social scientist, Max Weber, argued that an association is political if its authority is carried out continually within a given territorial area by the application and the threat of physical force on the part of the administrative staff. And a contemporary political scientist, H.T. Laswell, defines tersely political science as a study of influence and the influential. Laswell continues to explain his definition by saying that influence refers to power and influential refers to those who get the most of what there is to get, and those who get the most are the elite, and those who do not are the mass. Nature of political science. As a study of a state, political science objectively gathers and classifies diverse facts about the state. Mainly, however, these facts deal with the nature of the state, its historical evolution, its present and future form, the processes and devices through which power or authority is acquired and exercised, and the relationships of the people among themselves on the one hand, and between the people and the state on the other, and between the different people of the world that bear the names of their respective states. Scope of political science. Like other disciplines, political science covers a number of subfields of study. The major areas that fall under its sphere are the state, government, law, and the interest groups. In its field of inquiry, there are specialized divisions, to wit, 1. Courses in political philosophy, to trace the origin, evolution, and spread of political ideas. 2. Courses in comparative governments, to present an analysis of the structure and operations of the different political systems. 3. Courses in public laws, both constitutional and administrative, so as to gain insights into the relationships of the rulers and the ruled. 4. Courses in international law, in order to understand the external relations of states. 5. Courses in public administration, to enable the government officials to learn the art of balancing limited resources with the possible goals of the state. And 6. Courses in political parties and pressure groups, to imbibe acquaintance with the forces that influence public policies, as well as the government itself. Nature of politics. Generally, political science is all about politics, and politics, according to Aristotle, is the study of the affairs of the polis, which he defined as the most sovereign and inclusive association. Political science as science. Some people would deny political science a place in the field of science because of the inadequacy of its methods and principles to predict political developments. Yet it may be pointed out that many political forecasts in the past did not come true. But the most convincing proof that political science is also a science is the definition of science itself. The word science is usually defined as a body of knowledge acquired by scientific inquiry. Therefore, one may reasonably conclude that a systematic way of gathering and organizing knowledge about the evolution of the state, law, public opinion, propaganda, and other aspects of political activities and ideas constitutes the science of politics.
Methods of political science. Political scientists do not have a unanimous consensus with respect to the number of approaches in the study of political science. So now, I will just present a brief discussion and a survey of the known methods of study in political science. First is the historical method. The historical method is the study of politics through inductive generalizations from the collected and analyzed historical facts. It explains the present status of political institutions and their tendencies in the light of their respective origin and gradual development. The use of this method, however, requires a great care in the collection and analysis of the materials and the avoidance of preconceived notions in order that its conclusion would be impartial and logical. The second method of study in political science is the scientific method. The scientific method is the formulation of a general theory based on tested hypotheses, which are derived from organized patterns of systematically arranged and collected relevant facts to a political problem. The third method of study in political science is the empirical method. It is closely related to scientific method. It is mainly an observation of the actual human institutions and processes in order to discover fundamental political laws. Montesquieu's famous principle of separation of powers is another example of empirical inquiry into the realm of politics. Montesquieu formulated this principle in his book Spirit of the Laws after he found out that if the three known powers of government, which are the legislative, executive, and judicial, are vested in one man or in a group of few individuals, civil liberties would come to naught. The fourth method of study in political science is the theoretical method. The theoretical method is the study of politics by using the political theories of political philosophers as models. The existence of this method is a fact and its importance cannot be denied. It is because political problems ignite intellectual responses from the leaders of the time. The fifth method of study in political science is the juridical method. The juridical method dwells on the assumption that the state is a legal entity or a corporation, which exists for the creation and enforcement of laws. It regards the political society as a collection of legal rights and obligations, and analyzes public law's relation of the state. This method has an appeal to jurists and students of comparative governments, whose main concern is more on the superficial rather than on the latent structure of political organizations. The sixth method of study in political science is geographical method. The geographical method emphasizes the importance of economic and political geography to the problems of states in international relations, especially on problems of national power, frontiers, and prospects of expansion. The seventh method of study in political science is the behavioral method. The behavioral method is a study into what men actually do and the meaning they attach to their behavior, rather than into what men ought to do and how they ought to act. Its emphasis is on the social, economic, and political forces rather than on the political institutions through which such forces operate. Presently, however, it is already active in the areas of study of voting behavior, citizen political participation, and in the analysis of politico-economic system. The eighth method of the study in political science is the psychological method. The psychological approach explains political phenomena through application of psychological laws. It analyzes the motives of human behavior, the action of minds in groups, and the methods and processes of influencing public opinion. It also tries to explain the issues upon which political parties and pressure groups are based and from where internal controversies arise. This method is quite the reverse of the behavioral approach in the sense that the former determines the motives of human conduct by reading his mind, whereas the latter determines the motives of human mind by reading his behavior.